What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What's cracking, y'all? Back with another one from the Jonny Arnett universe. The fear of Michael Jordan explained. Go check out Jonny Arnett's channel. Does great stuff. We tend to check out one of his videos at least once a week or something like that. So check this one out, shall we? Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time, in my opinion.
LeBron is universally respected and revered. MJ was feared. You know the difference.
The statute of limitations up. I was terrified out there.
Were you really?
Yeah.
You just got on MJ?
Yeah.
For how long? Right when you took the floor?
No, the whole game.
The one thing that I think that he was unlike any other player I've ever played against is that there was a real fear playing against him. Like people, I've never seen like the league be kind of fearful of a player.
Kobe, not saying that you had to switch it up, but I didn't have that fear. Yeah. You know, Mike would have, you know, you better bring your game.
Oh, I mean, we was just all scared of Jordan. So I mean, that you know, when you show me against him, yeah, I get a little hot. His regular season average against the Pistons was 37.5.
Good grief.
Isaiah Thomas, would you please make up your damn mind? Please? Now, I admit, Michael Jordan's so great that even somebody that cannot stand Mike like Isaiah, you still have no choice. You might try to dance around speaking glowingly of him, but you still do. But this guy here, man. This guy here, he's different.
And then some nights he would get hot, Q.
People were afraid of him.
Right now, if you ask Isaiah Thomas right now, he would not say, I was scared of Michael Jordan. He wouldn't. He's going to say, we wasn't scared of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan wasn't doing nothing in the 80s. We kicked his ass every time. He didn't beat us till we got old. That's what he would say. He said Michael Jordan wasn't doing anything. We wasn't worried about him. You didn't have the Jordan rules? Yeah. You guys might have been able to beat the Bulls, but Michael Jordan was a problem. But he won't say that today. Not like that. Not what he just said right there. He won't say that today.
We were his teammates and we were afraid of him. And there was just fear.
Catch the ball when I threw it to you. I just threw it to you.
I'm tackling an interesting topic that has more to do with the psychological side of basketball and less about the stats and the X's and O's. The quote, fear of Michael Jordan. You hear players from his era talk about it, you hear his fans brag about it, and you hear the NBA media preach about it. But what exactly is behind it? Why do so many people claim that they feared Michael Jordan as if he was going to cause them some sort of physical harm? After all he truly was just a basketball player. Well, I think the explanation involves a lot of surrounding context, but at the end of the day, the explanation isn't all that hard to understand once you understand that context. I've seen many younger fans on social media laugh at the idea that Jordan was feared. After all, several players stood up to him. For one, Reggie Miller fought him, Robert Parrish threatened him, and you could even argue that the Pistons bullied him. Michael Jordan was not the most scary player in the sense that he would physically hurt you. If that was the case, then players like Ron Artest or Rick Mahorn would have all the stories about players fearing them. But you never hear that. In terms of his opponents, Michael was feared because of how he played when he was angry. There's a term in basketball that a mad player is a bad player, and this is usually a true statement, because when a player is mad, he's more prone to play recklessly and in a forceful manner. That will often result in playing with an emotional approach rather than a practical one. An angry player is more likely to ignore his training and force his will on the court rather than responding to the opposition as is presented to him. This mad approach will usually result in more turnovers, more personal fouls, more technical fouls, and more missed shots. But for some reason, Michael Jordan was the exception to this rule. Not only was Michael not affected negatively during his anger, but it seemed to have the complete opposite effect, as he often appeared completely unstoppable when he was triggered or challenged. The examples of such are basically endless. When Jeff Van Gundy called Jordan a con man, MJ responded by dropping 51 points on his Knicks. When Reggie Miller started trash-talking MJ, he dropped 40 points in the second half while shutting down Miller defensively. When Kevin Garnett got in his ear, MJ lit him up in the fourth quarter. When Magic Johnson told him that he better turn into Air Jordan if they were going to win that USA scrimmage, MJ completely took over. When he was eliminated by the Orlando Magic in 1995, and Nick Anderson said that 45 isn't 23, MJ came back the next season and swept them. When the media said that Clyde Drexler was the better three-point shooter, Michael Jordan broke three-point records against Clyde Drexler. When the league selected Karl Malone as the MVP over him, MJ responded by hitting the game-winning shot to defeat Karl Malone. When Dikembe Mutombo said that Jordan couldn't dunk on him, he proceeded to do just that. When someone said he couldn't dunk on someone bigger than Stockton, he proceeded to do just that. I could go on and on.
Was he
but
big
you
enough?
get the point. Michael Jordan almost always got the one-up on his opponents. By responding with consistent excellence, he built up an intimidating reputation that he's one that should never be challenged ever. And that's where the fear comes in. If you're someone who thinks you're familiar with Michael Jordan's career, then consider this. When was a time where someone challenged Jordan and MJ did not get the last laugh? I promise that you can't name many, if any. If Jordan didn't get the last laugh in half of the examples that I mentioned, then everything changes. As the saying goes, if you can make God bleed, then people will cease to believe in him. Now, I'm not trying to equate Jordan to God like Larry Bird once did, but what I'm doing is making the point that someone's perceived fear and reverence only goes as far as their consistent actions. Back then, angering Jordan meant that you were responsible for your team losing. It meant that you were getting destroyed defensively, and maybe the person backing you up is now seeing an opportunity to take some of your minutes. Angering Jordan meant that you were likely to be embarrassed in front of thousands, if not millions of people. That is fear-inducing for an NBA player.
Dang.
The fear was not that MJ would crush you physically, but it's that he would crush you mentally. But don't just take it from me, take it from these NBA legends, who learned this lesson the hard way and decided that they would never trash talk Jordan ever again, due to their fear of the consequences.
Did you ever do it again? Never to Michael Jordan.
Never talk shit to Mike ever again in life. Well, obviously, I didn't say much to MJ the rest of the night.
That's
Right. He make a shot, you say, good shot, Mike. You don't talk trash to him so he can go off for 60. You try to kill him with kindness. You don't try to talk trash to him.
All true by Jonny Arnett. People absolutely feared Michael Jordan. And I've heard some of his quotes before. They're like, you know what? I'm just keep my mouth shut because you know what this guy's capable of, and you did not want to take him there. Some people made mistakes by taking him there, but they learned their lesson. So a lot of players will come into the game fearing what he could do, and that in some capacity could take them out of their game. You know what I mean? But a player like Michael Jordan, if he sensed your fear, if he smelled the blood in the water, oh, he was going to devour you. He was going to devour you. Compete, play tough defense, but you might wake up the sleeping bear if you get the yapping at the jaws too much, or give a reporter some material. You know what I mean? You could wake up a sleeping bear. A Michael Jordan being a sleeping bear is already good for 30, 35, 6-5, something like that, 35, 7-7. Wake him up. Now you're getting 45, 55. You know what I mean? Or, a big explosion in the second half, 30-point second half, 40-point second half, something like that. He feared him. And that quote, if you make God bleed, people will cease to believe in him. It makes me think of Batman vs. Superman, the actual movie, BVS, Dawn of Justice. It got a lot of bad reviews. Me personally, the movie didn't live up to my expectations for it. Big DC fan, big Batman guy, but I really like what they were trying to do. They just didn't execute it the best.
and they could have done a lot of things different. But as I watched the movie more, I just liked it more and more each little time I watch it. But it's definitely a flawed movie. But if you want a different take on a superhero movie, challenging some ideas, giving a new perspective, I would say give it a chance. Go check it out, Batman vs. Superman. But anyway, Superman is this godlike figure on Earth, right? And some people fear him, and they kind of take that approach. Like, is Superman necessary? Does the world need Superman? Who holds Superman responsible? How does he get the right to decide who lives and who dies, who he can save, who he won't save? It's a very interesting angle. It just could have been executed a little bit better. But anyway, Superman's this godlike figure, and Batman is like, yo, this guy needs to be held accountable. This guy could destroy the Earth if he wanted to. So he is a threat. But anyway, they finally meet up for the big clash, and Superman proceeds. Spoiler alert! If you're going to watch the movie and don't want to know, spoiler alert! All right, you've been warned. Turn the video off here. And Superman's kicking his ass, right? But Batman, this is all part of the plan. All part of the plan. And then, he pulls out in Batman true fashion with prep time comes advantages. And then, he boom, hits him with the kryptonite gas, vaporized kryptonite form, I guess. And Batman says, now Superman no longer feels super, right? His powers have been drained from him, right? It's one thing to beat your chest when you got, when you're feeling powerful, you got a super team behind you, but how are you going to react when you feel stripped of your powers or your super team? You like that, right? But anyway, and then, Superman, he's feeling it, and then Batman's like, breathe it in. What did he say? He's like, breathe it in. That's fear. You're not brave. Men are brave. I was like, ooh, let's go. Let's go. Batman's like, I'm exposing you. You feel it now. You feel what it feels like to be weak, and you feel what it feels like to be mortal. Now death is at your doorstep. Now you can be taken advantage of. Now I see it in your eyes. You've never seen that before. You're scared, and I am going to devour you and rip you apart. Kind of a loose analogy, but it was so well done. Anyway, I'm going to play the scene from this movie before I end the video, from the point where Superman's kicking his ass a little bit, and then Batman switches it up. It's well done. He's like, breathe it in. That's fair. You're not brave. And then Superman swings, the camera pans or shifts. Men are brave. It was good. Watch it if you haven't seen it, or, don't watch it. But I'm playing it. Cinematography was great in this movie, in my opinion.
Stay down! If I wanted it, you'd be dead already.
Breathe it in. That's fear. You're not brave. Men are brave.
Now, drop 40 on the mic. Drop 40. Here it is. 35 in the second half. Oh, I was in the theaters loving this. Big Batman guy here. Drop his ass. This wasn't supposed to go this long, but now I'm enjoying it. Damn. giving him the work. I'll stop it there. Woo, man, Batman. Gop, gop, gop. Mike giving him buckets. God. Anyway, hey, appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Maybe that was a bad analogy. I tried to make it work. I thought it was okay. I guess I just wanted to use the video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and I'll catch you on the next one. Check out our Michael Jordan playlist. We out, baby.